Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nerds of the Multiverse channel. So late last night, we got some breaking news. And right now, it's just speculation, it's a rumor, and it's from the Insider. But if this is true, this could be phenomenal. According to the Insider, Robin will make his appearance in The Batman Part 2. Now, with this news, there's a lot we have to talk about. So for a long time now, Robert Pattinson has stated, he's like, I want to have a Robin in my universe. And a lot of people just didn't see the vision with that. They're like, well, it's very grounded, very dark. Batman's in like year 2 of being Batman. So like, how's Robin really going to fit in this universe? Is he going to be a kid? Is he going to be wearing spandex? Is it going to be grounded? Like, what are we going to get? Because the last time we saw Robin was in Batman and Robin with George Clooney. And that was Chris O'Donnell. And that's when they had the nipple suits. So it's been a while since we've had Robin on the big screen as far as live action. There's a lot of questions, and I kind of just want to talk about it today. I want to give my initial thoughts, my theories. So let's start off by just talking about the theory that I'm sure a lot of people have. It seems more and more every day that the Batman Part 2 is actually going to be Batman the Brave and the Bold in the DCU. And a big indicator for that right now is it just does not make sense to have 2 Batmans and 2 Robins. I know there's different iterations of Robin, so they totally could do it. Because right now, to be honest, it doesn't make the most sense for Robert Pattinson's Batman to have Damian Wayne, who is a big part of the Brave and the Bold comics. It's Batman and his son, Damian Wayne. But it doesn't really make sense for Robert Pattinson's Batman to have a son at this point in his career, especially only being 2 years into being Batman. So unless they like do a time jump and it's later in his life and he becomes a dad, or maybe he's introduced at the end of the film and he becomes Robin or something like that, it doesn't make a ton of sense for Damian Wayne. To be honest, with a Batman as young as he is, I think the one that would make the most sense would be Dick Grayson. And I think it'd be awesome to have Dick Grayson in that universe. And Dick Grayson would be great as far as just being a grounded, gritty... Honestly, Jason Todd's probably the perfect one for that universe, but I don't know. It kind of just depends on like what they want to do. You don't have to have a Dick Grayson at a certain point in Batman's career. It's a whole nother iteration. It's a whole nother story. So it can be any Robin, really, that they want. It could even be Tim Drake, even though I think Tim Drake and Damian Wayne are the least likely of the 4 main ones that were going to be in this. So in my opinion, if they're going to keep it in the Elseworlds universe, I think it has to either be Dick Grayson or Jason Todd. But probably Dick Grayson. You see Dick Grayson as a young boy. He sees something going on in Gotham. Maybe he's even a little bit aged up now, so he's not like 12 or 13 or young. And maybe he is like a younger teenager, and he gets to join Bruce in his 3rd year. That'd be kind of cool. But if they are going with the route that, oh, we're going to put the Batman in the DCU, then that's when it gets interesting. Because if you're doing the Brave and the Bold storyline, you're basically going to replace Damian Wayne, which you could do. You could change it with a different Robin and have different Robins throughout the DCU. Because my biggest thing, it does not make sense to me that, 2 Batmans, we could understand that. There's 2 different kinds. There's the grounded one and there's the fantastical one. We were kind of on board with that. Like, this is what's going to happen. And it still might happen. But also having 2 Robins, and I know there's different iterations of them. You have the big 4, like we mentioned. You have Dick Grayson, you have Jason Todd, you have Tim Drake, you have Damian Wayne. So if Damian Wayne was over here and Dick Grayson was over here, fine. And they don't have to be exactly based on the comics. As long as the characters are comic accurate and you could do a different story, have your own take because it's your own universe. But it's just having the Batman Part 2 come out before Batman the Brave and the Bold, and Matt Reeves is going to introduce Robin before James Gunn introduces Robin. It just doesn't feel right, to be honest. So it seems to me more and more every single day that the Batman Part 2 is actually going to be the Batman the Brave and the Bold. and it's going to be part of the DCU, which I'd be thrilled with, having Robert Pattinson going side by side with David Corenswet's Superman. I feel like they are just the two opposites of each other, but they fit so well, one embodying the light, one embodying the darkness, and it's just, I'm all for it. I personally hope that Robert Pattinson does join. I was kind of getting into the boat of, okay, I'm going to accept it. It's probably not going to happen. But then news like this comes out, and now I think a lot of fans are confused. I'm a bit confused, and personally, I hope it happens now. I don't see there being a Robin introduced before James Gunn's Robin, especially because The Brave and the Bold, it is Batman and Robin, and there's just a lot. So I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but I would like to know what you guys think. This is some breaking news. I want to be following this more and more as time goes on. What do you guys think? Comment down below your thoughts. Please let me know, because I'd like to see what you guys are thinking. If you guys think that Robert Pattinson's going to be joining the DCU and his second movie will be Brave and the Bold, or if you think that he's going to remain in the Elseworlds universe. We're going to have two different Batmans. We're going to have two different Robins, and it's just going to be separate. Maybe they'll end up having a multiversal thing in the future. James Gunn did mention that there's 100 multiverses in this universe. So who knows? Maybe they'll coexist and they'll team up at some point. That'd be kind of sick as well. I don't really know. I'm kind of, if the rumors are true and there's going to be a Robin in the DCU and in Elseworlds, we get two Robins back-to-back years probably, I'm down. But I do hope that Robert Pattinson joins the DCU and his second movie is The Brave and the Bold. Let me know what you think. For live updates, you can follow me on TikTok at Nerds of the Multiverse, on Instagram at The Nerds of the Multiverse, and on X at Nerds of the Mult1. And if you want to see more DC or Marvel content, such as news, rankings, theories, lore videos, breakdowns, and more, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. I love you 3000, and I will see you in the next video.